Ladies and gentlemen, folks, welcome back to the Pwamps Show. We're back in the Pwamps studio and we are ready to talk about sports. Boy, oh boy, what a treat it was. It was Halloween and we were all treated to one of probably the best sports weekends we've had in a very long time. You had a phenomenal finish to the World Series. You had a great college football Saturday with some great competitive games. And then you had a really action-packed Sunday from the National Football League. What a weekend it was. Let's get into it. We got to start with the NFL. There were some big games, some upsets happening, some injuries. We'll get to that in the NFL info board in just a minute. College football, let's jump there. We have a new AP poll just dropped. We've also got to talk about our featured four from last week and our other three. Featured three. I'm going to correct myself. Here's what we got. Penn State and Ohio. What are you doing, Penn State? Straighten out there. Straighten out there. There we go. Penn State and Ohio State. Now, this game was competitive in the first half. Ohio State, you had Ryan Day on his knees like this, kind of looking like he wanted to just throw up all over the place. The defense gave up their first 2 touchdowns of the year in the first half. That's the first time this season they have given up a TD in the first half. They gave up 2. This was a tight game. Backup QB in for Penn State, obviously still interim head coach. They take it to the Buckeyes, trailing tight at the end of the first half. Buckeyes do pull away. They get the win at the Horseshoe, and that second half, they look like that number 1 team. They played really well, had some poise. Jeremiah Smith with one of the catches of the year. It's not just a candidate, it might be the catch of the year. Buckeyes get a big win. How about Navy and North Texas? Blake Horvath, the guy was doing it on both sides. Again, he was running the football. He was passing the football. Navy comes up just short. This is a huge game in the American Conference. You've got North Texas now with only still 1 loss. Navy, they were undefeated. Now they have 1 loss in the American Conference. It's tight. Then you've got Cincinnati and Utah. And I tell you, Devon Dampier for Utah, he's controlling this team. The Utes are looking really good. Cincinnati had a lot of hope going into this game. We knew it would be a test, though. Traveling out west, couldn't get it done. Could not get it done. This one stings. It adds to the Bengals outcome. It adds to FC Cincinnati in soccer. Not a great week. Not a great weekend for Cincinnati sports fans, folks. Moving on. Now, we got up here, the Virginia Cavaliers. That was a tight game. With the Cal Berkeley Golden Bears, Berkeley's a tough place to play. I said it last week. Cavs, though, they go in, they get a big win, a much-needed win, keeps them going potentially towards an ACC title game. That was a big win. Now, Central Michigan and Western Michigan, the Chippewas taking a big trip over to Western Michigan. This is another tight finish, but guess what? Western Michigan gets the win, 24-21 over the Chippewas. And now, got to talk about this for a quick second. I highlighted this as my elimination game of the week. The loser, in my opinion, their college football playoff hopes were done. The first half looked really bad for Vanderbilt. Texas came out, Arch Manning. He played really well. I know a lot of people say, hey, he's a dinking guy. He likes to drop short, do a little screen pass. You know what? It worked. He put up one of his best stat lines this season. He commanded the offense. They were moving down the field at will. They were putting up points, dominating Vanderbilt. Vandy comes back, though. Diego Pavia finally gets that offense in a little more of a flow after a sluggish first half. Texas gets a big-time win, though, 34-31 over the Commodores. Now, in my opinion, their season is not over. College football playoff hopes for Vandy are most likely done. They are over. That is why I'm calling them elimination games. I will call those out for you when we talk about the games that are on the board. That was college football. That was our featured 3 and our other 3 from last week. And then you got the World Series. We go to Game 7, and folks, there's a parade this morning in downtown Los Angeles. The LA Dodgers, they go back-to-back. Yoshi Yamamoto, he's the MVP of the World Series. The Dodgers win the World Series. We'll talk about that later, but for now, we got one other thing to talk about. College basketball. It starts today, and I have to give a shout out to the Winthrop Eagles. They win the first game of the basketball season with a win over Queens. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at the NFL info board.
1, 2, 3, let's go. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, Pwamps. Hey, Pwamps. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Pwamps.
All right, everyone, it's time for our NFL Week 9 info board. Of course, the teams that are on your left are the winners this week. The teams that are on your right, they are the teams that lost this week. Top row, teams that got a win and look darn good in doing so. Top row on your right, it's the losers that lost their game, but they stood tall even with a loss. Let's jump into it. Let's see who we got. We take a look. Top row, it's the Buffalo Bills. Potential AFC Championship preview and huge rivalry with the Kansas City Chiefs. This time, we're in Buffalo. The Bills look darn good. They get a win. They knock off the Chiefs. They send the Chiefs into dire straits now in the AFC West. And guess what? The Bills are still neck and neck in the AFC East with the New England Patriots. That is a tight race that we've got going on right now. Bills look good. They get the win. They're in my top row. Now, we jump to the Pittsburgh Steelers. There were concerns. Beginning of this game, Fox put out a report at the beginning of this game. Aaron Rodgers in warm-ups might have done something to his wrist. It didn't look to affect him during the game. The Pittsburgh Steelers get a massive win over the AFC leading Indianapolis Colts and Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones. TJ Watt was a monster, had a big strip sack. The offense finally picked up the pace a little bit for Aaron Rodgers and these guys. They are continuing to put up points. Steelers, a huge win in the AFC, especially with the Baltimore Ravens back and alive and with a heartbeat now that Lamar Jackson is back at the helm. How about the Carolina Panthers? This was a huge win. You go into Lambeau Field, knock off Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, and the Green Bay Packers. Reminder, Packers only had one loss this year. They had the tie. It was with the Cowboys. They now have their second loss. And I tell you, this was a huge win for the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young looked really good. They're still figuring out their running back situation in Carolina. Is it going to be Romeo Dowdle or is it going to be Chuba Hubbard? We're going to find out. Huge win for the Panthers. And then the Minnesota Vikings. Folks, J.J. McCarthy is back. He leads this team. Kevin McConnell, he's got to be huge. He's got to be so happy right now that JJ is back, and guess what? This team is playing with authority. That was a huge win. To go into Ford Field, into Detroit, knock off your division rival. Massive win for the Minnesota Vikings. They look great. Huge win. Now, here are other winners this week. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cam Little, 68-yard field goal. Shout out to him. That is an NFL record. Shout out to Brock Bowers for the Las Vegas Raiders. A three touchdown day, 3-payter day for the tight end. Big game for him. There was a lot of excitement in this game. This was an overtime finish with the Raiders. This was a dogfight, back and forth. Had you not had these four teams up on this top row, the Jags were my next team going up on this top row. Big win for the San Francisco 49ers. They were able to hold off the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium without Cam Scatterbo. And Jackson Dart looked good. Played with poise. He is showing some major growth, and he's only a rookie, folks. But the Niners, boy, oh boy, they're looking good. The defense is back. They're playing with some real prowess, and the offense, look out. The Niners are putting up points, and they are a real threat in the NFC West. Now we got the LA Rams. Matt Stafford, what in the world? This guy is playing like he did in his prime. This is a guy at the tail end of his career. Many people thought a couple years ago he was going to retire. He's still slinging the ball, folks. The Rams took it to the New Orleans Saints. They're looking awesome. NFC West is congested. It's clogged. That's why we get to another team here, the Ravens. We talked about it. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they're looking great. Lamar is back. Ravens are looking good. Patriots, they survive. They get a win. They survive. They're on my winner's side. The Denver Broncos, they survive. Whoa, boy, do they ever survive. Okay, the Bears. This game was a little crazy, folks. You probably all saw it. It was a Game of the Year candidate. It was a defensive crap fest. But guess what? It was entertainment. It was entertainment. Had me jumping, had me screaming at the TV. Bears and Bengals. Fun game and some craziness in the final 2 minutes. You got the Bengals scoring 14 unanswered. They recover an onside kick. They think they've won the game. No. Caleb Williams to Mr. Loveland. The Bears get the win. Drama. Bears, huge win. Ben Johnson's got to be thrilled. Seattle Seahawks, we're back talking about the NFC West. They get a huge win. Sam Darnold, he's having a career resurgence as the quarterback of the Seahawks. The LA Chargers, this was a scary one, but they get a win over the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward in Tennessee. That takes us to our top left row here. Now, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, they just come out on the losing side of that game with the Jags. Fun one back and forth. Geno Smith was a lot better today. Big stuff for the Raiders, and hopefully next week they can get a win. Kansas City Chiefs, again, they come out just on the wrong side of this game. The Bills were in control. Patrick Mahomes had an off day. The Bills were getting some pressure on him. Not the usual Patrick Mahomes you see. Chiefs are up in my top row, though. Tight game. Then you got the Tennessee Titans. Could have won this game against the LA Chargers. They had opportunities to do so. They just could not capture those opportunities. But the Titans played well. They're in my top row. Then we've got an empty spot. I don't think any of these other teams really did it. The Giants, they're in my loser's side. Then you've got the Atlanta Falcons, who are still struggling right now, folks. The Detroit Lions, this was not the outcome the Lions were looking for. The Vikings came in. They looked like the better team. The Dolphins, oh my goodness, I still don't know what's going on in Miami. Yeah, you ran into Lamar Jackson. The Ravens were all pumped up. They were jacked up. But boy, oh boy, it's not looking pretty right now for the Dolphins. Then you got the Green Bay Packers. This was not a game they expected to lose. Carolina Panthers, looking good. The Colts, this one's going to sting. Second loss of the season. It's an AFC conference opponent. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Colts did not play that well either this game. This was an off game for them, which they were kind of due for. They've been playing so well as of late, but they sit in the loser's side this week. The Bengals, I mean, I talked earlier. I pointed it out that the Bengals, FC Cincinnati, and the Cincinnati Bearcats all stunk this week, folks. They just did. Okay? If you're a Cincinnati fan, I salute you. I'm sorry. But the Bengals defense really struggled. They're going to have to kind of regroup over the bye. This is a major moment now. Major moment. Your season is on the brink. They come out of the bye with the Steelers. This division's so weird. The AFC North is so weird. That game is going to determine if the Bengals season even has a chance to survive or if they're done. That's where we're sitting right now. The Saints, Tyler Show, his debut as a starter, it didn't go too great. A touchdown and interception. And they get trounced by the LA Rams. Then you got the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, that is an injury that if you saw the video, I'm sorry. That was hideous. We're sending prayers to Jaden. That did not look good. Commanders, they struggled this game though. Ran into a great Seattle Seahawks offense. Seahawks are dangerous. Commanders, we don't know how long Jaden Daniels is going to be out. This was not pretty. Not pretty at all. And then the Texans lose to the Denver Broncos. This was a game they could have won. We've got another injury. CJ Stroud, he has a concussion. We don't know how long he will be out. And then on Monday Night Football tonight, folks, it's the Arizona Cardinals. We've heard the news. Kyler Murray's questionable to play, but Jacoby Brissett will get the start for the Arizona Cardinals. They're traveling to AT&T Stadium. They're going to take on the Dallas Cowboys. That is tonight on Monday Night Football. That is our NFL Week 9 info board. Let's get to the NFL Week 10 schedule. All right, everyone, the NFL Week 10 schedule. Let's dive in. Let's take a look. Here we go. We're starting things out on Thursday Night Football. Again, on Prime, it's the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. The Broncos are playing really well. They are in the thick of a tight race for first place in the AFC West. The Raiders, coming off that loss to the Jags in overtime, they're just looking for a win. It would be a tall task to go into Mile High and get it. That is Thursday night. Now we get to Sunday morning, 9:30. We've got our first Berlin game of the year. We've got a 9:30 game on Sunday between the Atlanta Falcons and Michael Penix and Indiana Jones. Daniel Jones. Colts haven't had this feeling in a while. They're coming off a stinger loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Falcons are struggling. Hopefully those two teams can put on a good show in Berlin. Now we get to Sunday at 1 o'clock. You've got a 2-loss Cleveland Browns team. Both these teams coming off their bye. That's pretty interesting. A 2-win Cleveland Brown team. And you've got a 1-win New York Jets team. This is going to get interesting. Somebody's going to get a big win. The Jets are coming off their only win of the year against Cincinnati Bengals. The Browns, they're looking for a win. They are looking for a win. Both these teams are. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at MetLife Stadium Sunday, 1 o'clock. Now we get to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. So, big AFC South matchup here. Jags have kind of cemented themselves back near the top of that division. They're looking good. Texans are struggling. They don't know if they're going to have C.J. Stroud for this matchup. Keep an eye on this one. Big game Sunday at 1 o'clock, though. Big matchup in the AFC South. It'll be a really nice game. Now we go here. The Buffalo Bills coming off that big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Anytime you can take down the Chiefs, it's a big deal, especially when you send the Chiefs into the bye with a loss. That's a bad taste in the mouth. The Chiefs are going to want to get out as soon as possible. Maybe if they go listen to some Taylor Swift music, it'll all be okay. Then you got the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are struggling. I don't know what to say right now about the Dolphins. The Dolphins look like they just cannot get any tires in the street. They are struggling. And you're running into a Bills team that's looking mighty fine, folks. This is going to be an interesting game, one to keep an eye on to see if the Dolphins can make it watchable. I've said that a couple times throughout the show. Make the game watchable, Dolphins, because the Bills are looking hot. They're looking good. Then we've got the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a headlining game of the 1 o'clock slate. You got two teams that both only have 2 losses. They don't get together that often. This is a great little matchup taking place at Raymond James Stadium on Sunday. You've got Drake May, one of the great young quarterbacks right now that everybody's having fun watching, taking on Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has been putting up MVP numbers. He's an MVP candidate this year. This is a fun one on Sunday. The New York Giants, coming off that loss, 10-point loss, they're taking on the Chicago Bears. Bears, my goodness. I mean, after that big old word salad game they had against the Cincinnati Bengals, they're looking to just stay on the path. Can they get a win over a team they should beat? Caleb Williams and company, that's what's got to happen for Ben Johnson and these Bears. Maybe DeAndre Swift will be back in the lineup. We'll follow that as well. This is another great game. The Baltimore Ravens traveling to Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy got the Vikings a huge win over the Detroit Lions. Guess what, though? Lamar Jackson's back. The Ravens are back. I don't know. I got to give Lamar Jackson major props. I've never seen a team, and yeah, this has been crazy. The Ravens look like one of the worst teams in the NFL when Lamar was not playing. They came back, and boy, oh boy, even the defense looked better. Lamar Jackson, he's a game changer for the entire team. And he's just an all-around stud. Lamar Jackson, folks. Back, and this is a huge game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Ravens at the Vikings. Let's take a look at your right side of the board now. Who do we have at the top? Well, we've got the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. And I guess what? I got to tell you this. Major game for the Panthers. This is a game you got to win. And the NFC South, everybody's trying to chase the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers have a chance to drop a game against a very good New England Patriots team. This is a game. Is it a trap game potentially for the Panthers? Yes, it is. It is, but this has to be a win for Bryce Young and company to keep pace with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. Now we go to the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Fun little game. 4 o'clock window is underway. Cardinals, they're playing tonight on Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. Will it be Jacoby Brissett? Will it be Kyler Murray? We don't quite know. We do not know. All I know is you're playing a darn good team in the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold. Jackson Smith and Jigba. He is just putting up colossal numbers, folks. Kenneth Walker. The Seahawks are dangerous. You don't want to play them. You don't want to play them. And guess what? There's an opportunity here again. We talk about division standings. The NFC West, it's crowded. It's like people trying to get in when the console wars were going on with Xbox and PlayStation. The doors were packed. You couldn't even get in there. It is crowded at the top of the NFC West, and here's why. You've got the Seahawks. They're lingering around the top. Then you've got this next game, which is huge, folks. Will it be Brock Purdy? Will it be Mac Jones? It's a question that needs answering because they are hosting the LA Rams. The Rams are playing their best football we've seen in quite a while. Matthew Stafford looks great. Puka Nacua looks great. Hey, Tyler Higbee is putting up some good time numbers again. The Niners need this win. The Rams need this win. That is a featured game Sunday, 4 o'clock. Then our last 4 o'clock game, the Detroit Lions. They're coming off a little bee sting against the Minnesota Vikings. They want to get back in the win column. I can almost assure you it's going to be Jaden Daniels who is on the sideline. Marcus Mariota is going to get the start for the Commanders. That, if you saw the injury to Jaden Daniels, horrific. Horrific. You've got the Lions, you've got the Commanders. That is a 4 o'clock game on Sunday. Now we get to Sunday Night Football, and this is a big-time game as well. There's a lot of great games in Week 10 of the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off that big win over the Indianapolis Colts, they're looking to carry that momentum into SoFi Stadium and knock off the LA Chargers. Here's the thing, the Chargers, you know how I talked about Black Friday a couple seconds ago? They've got their own Black Friday scenario going on in the AFC West. Okay, you got the Chargers, who did take a game earlier this season from the Kansas City Chiefs. They're still going to have to play them again later this year, but the Chargers are atop right now, the AFC West, with the Denver Broncos. Chiefs are in third. But you know the Chiefs, they will recover. This division race is going to be one to watch as we come down to the wire here in the NFL season. Then Monday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles off their bye week. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. What do you got for me, A.J. Brown? Dallas Goedert, they're traveling in to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. I'm excited. Packers coming off a loss. This is a huge game. You've got the defending Super Bowl champs coming into Lambeau Field. We got to see Jordan Love play a little bit better. We need to see a little more from the kid. Can he do it? Can Josh Jacobs get those legs moving, get them trucking down the field? We're going to find out. Eagles, Packers. That is Monday Night Football. That is our Week 10 slate. Let's talk about college football. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. My featured 4 is back. This week we don't just have 3 on each side. We're back to having 4. Let's get started. College football is in the spotlight. Tomorrow night, the College Football Playoff Committee drops their first rankings of the year. It's one of the biggest days in college football. It's going down tomorrow night, the first rankings drop. You don't want to miss that. It's on ESPN tomorrow evening. Now, let's take a look at your left. Who do we have starting things out? We've got Tuesday night. We're going to be in Athens, Ohio. We got a game between 2 of the Max frontrunners. It's Miami, Ohio. The Redhawks traveling to take on the Ohio Bobcats. Parker Navarro at QB for the Bobcats, and then Daquan Finn for the Miami Redhawks. If you tune into this game on Tuesday night, folks, this is 2 of the best quarterbacks in the MAC going at it. Miami yet to lose in conference play. Ohio only with the 1 loss. This is a huge game to determine who could be at Ford Field for the MAC championship. This is Tuesday night. You want to watch that game. Then we've got a huge game here. BYU, they're number 8 in the country in the latest AP poll. They're taking on number 9, the Texas Tech Raiders. Red Raiders here. And I tell you what, this is a fun game. A top 10 battle in the Big 12. 2 teams that are right near the top of the conference. This is a game you want to watch on Saturday. Keep your eyes out. Bear Birkmeyer back on the field. Look out. BYU still undefeated. Texas Tech 1 loss in conference. Great game on Saturday. Then we've got an elimination game. I'm going to explain this a little bit. Navy, the midshipmen, they've got 1 loss in the American Conference. The American Conference, folks, they've got about 4 or 5 teams near the top of that conference. that could make a run to the American Conference Championship game. A couple of those teams, heck, could be a college football playoff contending team. Bear with me now. Navy, Blake Horvath goes in to take on Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, Marcus Freeman's squad, and the boys are playing really well. This is an elimination game. Here's why. Notre Dame, with a loss, it's their third loss of the year. For me, that bounces them out of the college football playoff equation. Now, for Navy, they only have one loss. A second loss, though, would really hurt with how competitive the American Conference is. You've got teams like Memphis, you've got teams like North Texas, you've got Tulane, who's on my other side of the board, playing Memphis. We'll talk about that in a second. It's stacked. Navy can't afford to lose this game. They got to pull a little rabbit out of the hat. Blake Horvath, the dual threat QB, has to lead the midshipmen to a big win in South Bend, taking on Notre Dame. Now, how about this game? Texas A&M. My goodness, they continue every week to look like one of the best teams in college football. Some might say the best and the most complete team in college football. They're traveling to take on the Missouri Tigers. This is a big game. A big, big game between the Tigers and Texas A&M here, the Aggies. Top 20 matchup. Mizzou needs this badly. A&M yet to lose this year. Missouri, they've lost 2 times. This is a big-time game in a battle between 2 top 20 schools. SEC battle, going to be a fun one on Saturday. Now, we flip to this side of the board. We've got Tulane and we've got Memphis. Again, another high-stakes American Conference matchup. Memphis just jumped in to the top 25. They are looking really good, but they've got North Texas breathing down their necks. They've got Navy breathing down their neck. And guess what? They also have this team right here. Tulane can go into Memphis, get a big win. They are right back in the thick of things with a chance to be appearing in the American Conference Championship game. That is a big game that you're going to want to watch that game, ladies and gentlemen, is on Friday evening. We got some Friday Night Lights, folks. It's back. Now let's keep going. The Oregon Ducks and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, Iowa, right outside currently the top 25 in the latest AP poll. They host the Oregon Ducks. This is a big-time opportunity. Most of the time we talk about Iowa's defense, and it's a stout defense. Once again, the Hawkeyes excel on the defensive side. They're also tight end university. Well, guess what? Their offense is putting points on the board this year. Oregon has won games. They only have one loss, but they're not doing it in convincing fashion. This is a major moment here for the Hawkeyes to get another win, and Oregon, they need this win. This is a tough little game to go into Iowa and get a big win. That is on Saturday. How about this game? And I did this kind of coincidentally. Let's take a quick look. We're going to give you a quick standing update, and you're probably thinking, oh, we got 12 teams we're going to talk about. 2 teams. The FBS Indies. Okay? I put Navy and Notre Dame right here. You turn to this side, I put Duke and UConn right here. The only 2 FBS independents right now in football are Notre Dame and UConn. Okay. Notre Dame's 6-2. Got it. They're back in the top 10. Okay. UConn is 6-3. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a race for first place in the FBS Indies. UConn trying to hang on. This would be a big one. They host Duke at home, and guess what? The Huskies have a chance to win the FBS Indies. Now, guys, I know there's no winning the FBS Indies. I know that. But it's a fun little thing. The Huskies are breathing down Notre Dame's neck. You don't hear that very often. That hasn't happened in a very long time. But the Huskies, they're playing some good football. You get to see them host the Duke Blue Devils. This will be a fun game on Saturday. And then we get to our Saturday evening fireworks, folks. In the Mountain West, 2 of the top teams in the Mountain West going at it in Hawaii. Taking the rainbow over to Hawaii. And guess what? It's the San Diego State Aztecs leading the Mountain West Conference, undefeated in Mountain West play right now, taking on the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii. Hawaii's right in the thick of things, okay? They are a top 4 team in the Mountain West right now. They're trying to assert themselves into the Mountain West Championship game. And guess what? You got a home opportunity with the best team in the Mountain West. You get your opportunity. That is Saturday at 11 o'clock. Folks, that is our featured 4. Those are my other 4. And reminder, tomorrow night, it is time. The college football playoff rankings are revealed for the first time. Now, let's take a look back at a quick little recap of how the World Series unfolded. It's a party, folks. Game 7 of the World Series has come and gone, and guess what? The Los Angeles Dodgers, they are repeat champions. They went back-to-back. This series, let alone Game 7, was one of the best series in MLB history. Game 7 was another instant classic in this series. It was a great pitching matchup. Shohei Ohtani on the mound, Max Scherzer on the mound. Max Scherzer looked great. He kept the Dodgers under control, kept them kind of on a tight leash. Shohei Ohtani gives up the 3-run home run to Bo Bichette. The Blue Jays strike first. But guess what? The Dodgers keep clawing back. Now, Robleski, the bench is clear. He hits Mr. Jimenez. The bench is clear. All of a sudden, it's getting serious. Bullpens come out into the field, and it's getting bad, getting a little rough. There's some heat. Guys are feeling it right now. So, Dodgers continue to chip back. Max Muncy has a big home run. Everybody's feeling good. Blue Jays, once again, though, they get the lead. How about some great outfield plays from Dalton Varsho, from Addison Barger? I mean, Vladdy at first base. These guys were all over the field making plays for the Blue Jays. They were not letting the Dodgers in. This game continues to get tight. We get to the top of the 9th inning. Guess what? Has to happen. Dodgers trail 4-3. Miguel Rojas, you heard that correctly. World Series moment from him. We heard a story. His wife kept telling him, Miguel, you're going to hit a home run in the World Series. He said, honey, I'm not playing. I'm not playing in the World Series. She kept saying it. Guess what? Miguel Rojas hits a home run, silencing Toronto. The game tied. We go to extra innings. It finally comes down to it. Will Smith hits a go-ahead home run. Dodgers lead this game. Are they going to take it? Well, it was tight, folks. Multiple times did it get really tight. Pitchers, they were wearing thin. Yoshi Yamamoto comes into the game. Blake Snell comes into the game. Yoshi closes out the game. We get a fly ball all the way out to left field. Kike Hernandez chasing it. Near blunders here. Andy Paez, he comes all the way over. He knocks over Kike, makes the catch. Couple plays earlier, we've got Miguel Rojas making a play over at second base. He kicks it up, fires it to home. Will Smith does a toe tap, takes his hand off the bag, and then puts it back at home. But it was close for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to scoring there. That's how close it was for the Blue Jays to win this World Series. Yoshi Yamamoto then pitches to Alejandro Kirk, who hits into a double play. Mookie Betts takes it himself, and the Dodgers are back-to-back World Series champions. This was an instant classic series. Alex Rodriguez said the best series he's seen in his lifetime. Dodgers, Blue Jays, instant classic. We got a Game 7. We got the emotion of a 7-game World Series on both ends. We saw sadness, we saw heartbreak, we saw happiness, we saw celebrating. That is sports. That's why we love sports. That's why we love the World Series. That's why we love March Madness. That's why we love the Super Bowl. That's why we love the NBA Finals. That's why we love Wimbledon, the Australian Open, the US Open. It's why we love the French Open. It's why we love the Stanley Cup Final, the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's sports, folks. The World Series. What a classic. If you like what you saw today on the Pwamps Show, do me a favor, click subscribe. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know who your favorite team is. Let me know how your team is doing. Let me know what you thought about the World Series, college football, the NFL. Let me know. I'd love to communicate with you. I will see you now later this week for entertainment. I'll also have some shorts still coming at you. It's been fun. See you soon, folks.